Hi, Critter friends. This is Soraya, and thank you so much for being here. So I am super excited to dive into this spread, and I will tell you why in a minute. But one of the things I want to point out is in my, I think it was 2 videos back, I was still talking about this particular spread, and I was talking about, me jumping from journal to journal and working in different ways. And another reason to work in this way is that, I've been working on the 100-day project where I'm doing my mixed media portraits, and I'm also working in my journal of healing ancestral trauma, which, I've got to come up with a name for it besides the name that I just said. But I am working in a very neutralized palette in both this and my mixed media portraits for the 100-day project. But when I am working in this particular journal, and I am totally being influenced by Connie and her masterful use of color, but I am just so enjoying the bold, bright, vivacious colors. And it's just giving me a whole deeper appreciation for just, colors that make my heart sing. As much as I do love neutrals, and I love working in the 100-day project or this journal that I just showed you with the neutrals, but there's just something about colors that just makes me so happy. So I just wanted to point that out. But beyond that, I do also want to say that the reason why I'm so excited to dive into this portrait is before I turned the camera on, I was looking at this spread and trying to figure out how am I going to resolve some of the issues. And one of the things I decided to do is that I am going to keep this whole entire collage piece over here for the eye and for the lips. And I just love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I think why I am able to look at this in a different way than I would have like a couple of months ago is because I am working in this particular journal and I am using my little bits of collage pieces here, and I am trying to look at collage in a different way. So see, like over here and even over here, I am making the image of a sun, so it's a circle, but I am using my collage in different ways. Like this is cardboard, this is Tamil script, this is dictionary pages. So even though it's reading as one shape, I am, making it out of different pieces of collage. And I am totally being influenced by these little pieces here. And it's allowing me to see shapes more than the image. So that's one of the really huge reasons to make these mini collages, is that you can focus just on the elements of art and you're not focused on the image. And I think I made about, I don't know how many I made of these. I made quite a lot. Because they are addictive to make. But my point is that the more you make of them, the more you're going to strengthen your visual language. You're going to be able to connect the dots in new ways. And I didn't even realize this until I'm working in this over here. And it just kind of struck me like, hey, I really love that piece of collage and the way it's just so interesting to me. So I'm really excited about that. Now, I did come up with another problem, if you will, not a problem, but something I have to resolve, is because this is going to be so striking. It is a larger figure. It is taking up this whole page. And because of these pieces of collage, it is going to be more eye-catching. I have to figure out what to do with these figures so that they don't fade into the background. Or alternatively, I might use that to my advantage and make them fade into the background on purpose. And I do want to bring this up closer so you can see the texture of the dried tea bags, and just look at that delicious texture there. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And then once it dries and then you add paint on top of it, it just gives it so much interest, texture, and dimension. It's ridiculous. And go. So I hope I explained that correctly, what I'm intending on doing, but hopefully I'll be able to do it and illustrate what I mean. And for the background, I think I'm gonna keep like Connie's, you know, just the beautiful kind of yellows and what have you, but I might have to make another layer over top. But for now, what I'm gonna do is I am gonna work on the face. So I am going to completely leave those collage pieces. So I'm gonna draw the eye over top of it, and I guess she needs some eyebrows. I mean, maybe. I don't know. When I was talking about the pieces of collage and working in that journal I just showed you, it leads me to another point where I made a video about it a week ago, which is, you know, follow your excitement, follow your intuition, follow your whispers, because you just never know what treasure trove it's going to lead you to. Because when I made those mini collage pieces, I just became so addicted. And I wasn't making them for any particular reason other than to learn. And well, they made me happy because it is really addictive. But I am learning so much from it. It's really kind of crazy. See, so I'm just going to keep those pieces of collage. Now I'm thinking if I should give her eyebrows. Yeah, I probably should. I don't know, you guys. I'm gonna give her one eyebrow. She doesn't need her other eyebrow. It's totally fine. Just because I like that piece of collage there, just the way it is, it's just really aesthetically pleasing to me from a design standpoint. So I don't want to put a line on there. I'm gonna just give her this one eyebrow here. And I really am loving this image because it's so strong. Now I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with the rest of the face, but that's something else I'm gonna have to resolve. Okay, you guys, I'm really loving that, honestly. It's just really appealing to me. Now, I don't know what to do with these figures because this is really a strong figure and it's competing with these two over here. So when I don't know something, I just kind of like ask myself the question, and I'm just going to work on the background. And I think I'm going to mix some yellow here. So you guys, if you are going to work in this way, and I've mentioned it before, but since I get new followers all the time and they haven't watched my earlier videos, so I'm just going to say it again because I think it bears repeating. You absolutely do not have to work in this particular book. Now, Connie did make this book for this specific reason, and actually this journal, like, okay, so all these images that Connie made, it was on top of another book. It's called Colors. And she made this entire journal working over top of another book, incorporating the images that were on the page. And then she printed this journal up so that other artists could work over top of the images. And you don't have to work in this book, because there were a few people that were talking about the price of this book, and it is pricey. I paid about $125 to $130 for it, I think, when Connie first sold it, but now I think it goes for about $75, I want to say. And that is quite, that is expensive, and not everybody wants to pay that amount. So you can just go to the thrift store, you guys, and find a book. The only thing I would say is that pick a book with non-glossy pages, otherwise you're going to be sanding the page, and I don't know how that works, because that would totally scramble up my brain and I would never consider doing that. And my first thought would be like, well, if you sand all the pages, like, the images are not going to be as vibrant. But I don't know, maybe it will be, I have no idea. But my point is, I would just pick a non-glossy page book, but high quality paper. And children's books are amazing, just for the artwork, and a lot of children's books have just delicious artwork and high quality paper. And if you go to the thrift store, you can find some really beautiful books. So non-glossy pages, and then also I would recommend you pick a book that speaks to you, but you shouldn't love like every image on the page. Like, some images should be uncomfortable for you to look at, for you to work over top, because that's how you're going to get the most out of it, in my opinion, because you are having to work with images that are not your own, a visual language not your own, images that you don't necessarily like. Maybe some of them you're even made uncomfortable by, you are repulsed by them even. You are going to get the most, because when I find that when something is really challenging for me, like, oh, this is a color palette I wouldn't normally use, oh, these are shapes and blah blah blah, yeah, it's difficult to work through it, but once you have completed the spread, you will have learned so much. And those lessons don't always show themselves right away. Like, sometimes I am doing something and I don't even learn the lesson until 6 months later. But it is absolutely going to strengthen your visual language. It's going to help you with all your elements in art, like your line, color, composition, just everything. So just, you go to the thrift store and maybe look for a book that appeals to you. And that's what I do when I look at books like my Madame Butterfly book. Like, immediately when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, like, I absolutely know that I need to buy this book to work over top of. And it's the same with the Van Gogh book. I was like, immediately I knew, like, oh my God, like, I want to work over top of this. So that's just kind of how I pick my books. So now that I have put a second layer for the background, I am not happy with this part over here. And what's probably going to end up happening is that I am going to cover up quite a bit of Connie's work for this spread, which I don't like to do that, but it seems like that's what's going to happen. Unless I figure out a way, I don't want to put a moon or something over there. I just think compositionally, it's just going to be so awkward. Now, I might put something over top of her head. I mean, Connie put some bubbles over there, so I don't know. I might, like, just so I can incorporate this part, but I don't know what I would put. Maybe I could put, like, a crown. That might work out, actually. that might work out. Just so I can retain Connie's, you know, all of Connie's stuff there, so I don't cover up too much of her work. But I think what I'm gonna do is I am going to put some tea bags over there. And because the tea bags are transparent, I should be able to see, you know, Connie's stuff underneath it. So here's the other thing, you guys. Even if I had to cover up Connie's work 100%, like you couldn't even see anything of Connie's work, it would still be there and it would still have changed the way I worked. So the image that I get over top of working on Connie's work is going to be different than an image that I would get working over a blank white page, or say one of my backgrounds that I made. Because everything that's on the page is gonna, like, when I come to the page and I see Connie's stuff, so I'll give you an example. So I come to this page and I go, okay, I'm gonna cover up 100% of this whole entire spread, but you know, this is gonna dictate what I put on top of it. This color is gonna do this, that, you know, whatever. Maybe I'm gonna put a face over here because I'm gonna, you know, say, oh, well, Connie put her face over here, or whatever it is. My point is, even if I cover everything up 100%, it's still going to dictate the way I work, the colors I lay down, the lines, the everything. So, you know, I think working in a book like this, even if you do cover everything up, is invaluable. Okay, you guys, I'm so pleased with this lady over here. I just love her face. I love these pieces of collage here. I think she's really strong. So I'm really loving it. And actually, because I really love the way this turned out with the eyes and the collage and everything, I might replicate that in an art journal page of mine. So yeah, a lot has come out of me working on this spread. I'm so happy. Anyways, you guys, if you watched all the way to the end, thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.